AG Bird investigates University of Iowa over alleged DEI law violations. A bombshell investigation. University of Iowa under fire for alleged DEI law violations. In a shocking turn of events, Iowa Attorney General Brenna Bird has launched a full-scale investigation into the University of Iowa, accusing the institution of violating a state law that restricts diversity, equity, and inclusion, DEI programs. But here's where it gets interesting. The allegations stem from an undercover video posted by Fox News, which appears to show a university employee brazenly admitting to finding ways around the law. The controversy began when Republican Governor Kim Reynolds filed a complaint with Bird's office, citing the incriminating video as evidence. In it, Andrea Tinoco, Assistant Director of Leadership and Student Organization Development, seems to describe how university officials have been secretly circumventing DEI restrictions. But what's even more astonishing is that Tinoco appears to be completely unaware that she's being recorded. The video, which has sparked widespread outrage, shows Tinoco openly discussing how the university has removed DEI-related terms from its websites, only to find creative ways to continue promoting the same ideals under different guises. It's not there, but we are essentially finding ways to operate around it. So that was our solution, Tinoco says in the video. We were like, oh, okay, we can't use that word? Okay. Civic engagement. But here's the part that's got everyone talking. Tinoco's comments seem to suggest that the university is intentionally flouting the law, which was passed just last year. The law in question prohibits Iowa's public universities from having DEI offices or staff, and it's clear that Tinoco's words have ignited a firestorm of controversy. Reynolds, who signed the law into effect on May 9, 2024, has expressed her outrage over the allegations, saying, "I'm appalled by the remarks made in this video by a University of Iowa employee who blatantly admits to defying DEI restrictions." And it's not just Reynolds who's speaking out. University of Iowa President Barbara Wilson has also weighed in, promising to take the allegations seriously and launch a separate investigation. But what's really at stake here? If the university is found to be in violation of the law, the Attorney General can ask a court to order the institution to comply with DEI restrictions. And that's not all. The Board of Regents has also thrown its support behind the investigation, with President Sherry Bates saying any attempt to skirt the law needs to be dealt with swiftly. However, not everyone is on the same page. Regent David Barker has criticized the board for not allowing him to monitor universities' compliance with DEI restrictions, saying, "But in some cases, the board needs to take more direct action." And that's a point that's sure to spark some lively debate. Should the board be taking a more hands-on approach to enforcing the law, or would that be overstepping its bounds? As the investigation continues to unfold, one thing is clear: the outcome will have far-reaching implications for the University of Iowa and beyond. So we want to hear from you. Do you think the university is in the wrong for allegedly violating the DEI law, or do you believe the law itself is the problem? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Iowa DEI controversy. Governor Reynolds reacts to University of Iowa undercover video. An undercover video, secretly recorded at the University of Iowa, is setting off political fireworks and reigniting the fierce debate over diversity, equity, and inclusion, DEI, in higher education. Some are calling it a blatant disregard for the law. Others see it as evidence of a system under siege. But here's where it gets really contentious. The video itself isn't even available for public viewing, leaving both critics and defenders speculating about what was actually said and how it was obtained. On July 29th, Fox News posted a covertly captured video purportedly showing Drea Tinoco, Assistant Director of Leadership and Student Organization Development at the University of Iowa, explaining various methods for sidestepping new restrictions on DEI activity at the university. Though the footage runs nearly 4 minutes, Fox hasn't made the actual video accessible to viewers, raising questions about transparency and journalistic ethics. Was Tinoco aware she was being recorded? Fox News hasn't disclosed who filmed the video, deepening the mystery. Iowa Governor Kim Reynolds, reacting to the clip, expressed outrage and is now forwarding the case to Attorney General Brenna Bird, asking for a formal investigation under Iowa's new DEI Act. This law, which took effect July 1st, prohibits state universities from supporting DEI offices or programs, hiring staff for DEI roles, or requiring anyone to submit a DEI statement. Reynolds' blunt message: "I'm appalled by the remarks made in this video by a University of Iowa employee who blatantly admits to defying DEI restrictions." The root of all this is Senate File 2435, a new law with teeth. It bans Iowa's 3 public universities from funding, maintaining, or creating DEI offices. Universities can't even hire someone whose main job is related to DEI, nor can they demand DEI statements from staff or students. Reynolds pointed out that the video suggests the university still maintains the equivalent of a DEI office in practice, an apparent violation of both the law and the legislature's intent. But is the alleged workaround actually illegal, or just an example of resourceful compliance? That's a question sure to divide audiences. In the controversial video, Tinoco claims that after the law was signed, university websites were scrubbed of any DEI-related language as ordered by the Board of Regents. Buzzwords like diversity, equity, and inclusion vanished overnight, but Tinoco admits the university is searching for creative alternatives. So it's not there, but we are essentially finding ways to operate around it. That was our solution. We were like, oh, okay, we can't use that word. Okay, civic engagement. Tinoco went further, describing the Board of Regents as a bunch of white people and hinting that while compliance is outwardly ensured, DEI work continues under the surface. University of Iowa President Barbara Wilson and the Board of Regents have both issued statements underscoring their commitment to state laws and promising a full investigation, yet they've also stressed confidentiality in personnel matters. At a Board of Regents meeting following the video's release, President Sherry Bates called the situation unacceptable and stressed that following the law is not optional, nor is working around the law. But here's the part most people are missing. The Board of Regents has twice delayed a major vote on a new policy about DEI and teaching controversial topics. Both supporters and critics of the policy are still weighing in, and Board President Bates described the feedback as coming from many people on both sides of this specific issue. This delay in policymaking creates a vacuum, and some fear it allows discretionary enforcement and uncertainty at the university level. Is this confusion by design or a genuine attempt at thorough policymaking? Attorney General Brenna Bird has confirmed her office is now investigating the allegations raised by Reynolds. Meanwhile, President Wilson said the university is fully cooperating and will conduct its own internal review, promising immediate and comprehensive action if violations are found. Still, she emphasizes that the expectations we have for our faculty and our staff are clear and uncompromising. On the legislative front, Representative Taylor Collins, chair of the House Committee on Higher Education, took the opportunity to slam what he called the DEI bureaucracy and criticize the Board of Regents for what he sees as a lack of proper oversight. The persisting issues at University of Iowa are a direct result of the Board of Regents' abdication of oversight to the universities themselves, Collins argued, hinting that further legislative intervention may be coming. This story is more than an administrative spat. It's a window into the culture wars raging across American campuses. Should universities be allowed to preserve DEI values under different names, or does that undermine the rule of law? Are these laws really protecting academic neutrality, or are they stifling important conversations about equity? Is the Board of Regents doing enough to clarify the rules, or are they dragging their feet on purpose? Some argue that this crackdown will simply drive DEI work underground, making it harder, not easier, to monitor. Where do you stand on this issue? Do you think the university was creatively obeying the law, or were they openly defying it? Does banning DEI offices actually solve any problems, or just provoke more secrecy and division? Let's hear your take. Sound off in the comments below and join the debate. University of Iowa under investigation for DEI Act non-compliance after undercover video. Imagine a situation where a video goes viral, sparking outrage and controversy. This is exactly what happened when an undercover video surfaced, allegedly showing a University of Iowa employee discussing how the institution might be defying state laws related to diversity, equity, and inclusion, DEI. But here's where it gets controversial. Governor Kim Reynolds filed a formal complaint against the University of Iowa, accusing them of non-compliance with the DEI Act, a law she signed into effect last year. This move has ignited a heated debate about the role of DEI initiatives in public education and the enforcement of state regulations. The video, posted by Fox News, appeared to capture a conversation where a university employee mentioned strategies to remove DEI-related content from the university's website and suggested finding ways to operate around the new legislation. This sparked immediate action from Governor Reynolds, who expressed deep concern about the apparent disregard for state law. She emphasized that such behavior is unacceptable and demanded accountability. In response to the governor's complaint, Iowa Attorney General Brenna Bird confirmed that her office had launched an investigation. The Attorney General's statement underscored the importance of regent universities adhering to state laws, including the DEI Act and an executive order signed by President Trump. The law, which took effect on July 1, 2025, includes provisions that ban DEI offices and programs at Iowa's public universities. During a meeting of the Iowa Board of Regents, the topic was brought up, and President Sherry Bates made it clear that following the law is not optional. She stressed the necessity of compliance, emphasizing that any attempts to work around legal requirements are unacceptable. This sentiment was echoed by University of Iowa President Barbara Wilson, who assured everyone that the university would take the allegations very seriously and cooperate fully with the investigation. The controversy has also drawn attention from lawmakers. Iowa Republican House Representative Taylor Collins shared his frustration, stating that those violating state law should face consequences, including potential termination. He noted that other institutions like Iowa State University and the University of Northern Iowa seem to be complying with the new regulations. Collins urged the University of Iowa to take decisive action and establish a clear policy against such behavior. On the other hand, Iowa Democrat House Representative Rob Johnson offered a different perspective. He suggested that the video might not depict someone actively trying to circumvent the law. Instead, he believed the individual was advocating for people and argued that DEI initiatives are crucial for fostering understanding and inclusivity. Johnson also criticized the law itself, arguing that it could hinder important discussions about diversity and inclusion. The University of Iowa, while not directly commenting on the specifics of the video, did confirm that they were cooperating with the investigation. President Wilson stated that if any violations were found, the university would take immediate corrective actions. This incident raises significant questions about the balance between enforcing state laws and promoting inclusive practices in higher education. As the investigation unfolds, it remains to be seen how the University of Iowa will address these concerns and whether the DEI Act will face further scrutiny or support. What do you think? Should universities be required to follow DEI laws, or should there be more flexibility in how they approach these issues?